That voice you just heard was Courtney Reese begging for her life. On the night of August 20th, 2024, right before she was shot at least 10 times outside her home on Springside Drive while her children were inside that same house. Her killer ran off immediately, but what happened next is something nobody in this family could have ever prepared for. Because this was the second time in 3 months that gun violence had taken someone they loved. And by the time it was over, Courtney's story would end in a shocking arrest that would have you feeling very upset. But before we get there, let's go back to who Courtney actually was.
She was a vibe, the life of the party.
Her infectious smile is keeping her grieving family's spirit high.
She was everybody's hype man. She was everybody's cook.
That was Lena, Courtney's older sister, speaking to reporters just hours after the murder. And if you listen to anyone who knows Courtney, they all say the same thing. She was the kind of person who made every room feel like a party. She loved to cook, specifically party food, the kind of spread that made people want to stay longer than they planned. Family called her everybody's hype man, the one who kept energy high and kept people laughing. Her 4 kids were everything to her. She had 3 daughters, ages 13, 9, and 6, and an 11-year-old son. According to everyone who knew her, those children were her entire world. She was born on February 14, 1992, and grew up in southeast Atlanta. She came from a tight family unit. Her parents, James Dupree and Sheba, multiple siblings, including her sister Lena, another sister Tiniquewa, a brother, and her younger sister Symetria. That last name matters, because Symetria's story is the one that has to come first before we can fully understand just how much weight this family was already carrying the night Courtney was killed. Symetria Edwards McCord was 29 years old. She was an Army veteran who had worked incredibly hard to earn a nursing degree and had just landed a job at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, one of the most well-known hospitals in the entire state. She started her orientation on a Monday, and by that Friday, she was dead. On May 24, 2024, Symetria was attending a repast. For those who don't know, a repast is a gathering after a funeral where family comes together to eat and mourn together. This one was for her great uncle. The repast was at a home in the 2000 block of Chestnut Hill Circle in Decatur, DeKalb County, just outside Atlanta. It was a large gathering, lots of family and friends outside in the neighborhood. And then, around 7 in the evening, gunfire erupted from several houses down the street. It had absolutely nothing to do with the repast and was a completely separate incident happening nearby. But Symetria was standing in the crowd when a stray bullet found her. She was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, the same hospital where she had just started working days before. Her mother, LaTanya Walker, also an employee at Grady, was by her daughter's side in the emergency department. Despite everything the medical team did, Symetria did not survive. Her sister, Travonia, who was standing nearby at the repast, later said the fear of that moment stayed with her. She described how she could have been the one hit. DeKalb County Police opened an investigation, and after 5 months, they arrested a 16-year-old suspect on October 2024 and charged them with murder. Because the suspect was a minor, their identity was not made public. The family saw it as a step towards some kind of justice, even though no arrest could undo what had happened.
Let's get to some new developments tonight after a woman was at a gathering after a funeral by her own cousin. Now the victim's mother wants a 16-year-old accused woman to stand trial as an adult. Channel 2's Tom Jones live now at Grady Hospital. And Tom, the woman who was shot and killed had just started her new job there at Grady.
Yeah, that's right, George. Symetria Edwards McCord had only worked here at Grady Hospital 4 days, and she was super excited about her new job. Then she was brought here as a gunshot victim, and she didn't survive. Now her mother wants justice, and she wants the teenager, who's also a relative, tried as an adult.
I'm so angry. That's my baby.
LaTanya Walker is not only angry and heartbroken, she's relieved.
There is definitely some relief.
Relieved that DeKalb County Police say they have arrested the gunman who her 29-year-old daughter, Symmetria Edwards McCord, back in May. What hurts even more, though, the 16-year-old suspect is a relative.
A cousin.
Edwards McCord had recently graduated nursing school and was in her first week working at Grady Hospital.
Looking forward to saving lives.
Then it was her life that needed saving. Police say someone started outside a gathering on Chestnut Hill Circle after a funeral. Symmetria was hit as she was getting in her car. She at Grady.
We can't even accept it.
Yeah.
It's just unacceptable.
Even though it is a teenage relative accused of ending Symmetria's life, Walker still wants the stiffest punishment possible.
So you want him tried as an adult?
I do. I do.
Walker knows some will say at 16 the teenager's brain wasn't fully developed and not capable of making mature decisions.
But it was functionable enough to pick up a weapon and fire and murder my daughter.
And she says into a crowd of people. She doesn't know what prompted the
I demand answers. I definitely want answers. I want justice for Symmetria.
And the DA's office could not release the name of the suspect because of his age. As far as him being tried as an adult, the DA's office says it will carefully review the facts of this case before making any final charging decisions. We're live at Grady Hospital. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
Tom, before you go, I want to make it clear here, Symmetria not the target in this case, correct?
Not the target, George. According to the mother, she says she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and she was a high achiever and wanted to help people, not hurt people, and wouldn't have been anywhere near violence or negativity.
You have to feel for this family. Tom Jones live for us tonight. Thank you.
However, Courtney was still grieving her sister when her own life was taken 3 months later. August 20th, 2024. It was a Tuesday evening, just before 9 p.m. on Springside Drive in southeast Atlanta, a residential street sitting between Cleveland Avenue and Mount Zion Road. Police received a report of gunfire and responded to find Courtney outside a home suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Despite everything the first responders tried to do, she did not survive. What made this case hit differently almost immediately was the footage. A Ring doorbell camera mounted on a neighbor's porch captured 27 seconds of what happened. The video showed a tall figure dressed entirely in white, including a hooded sweatshirt, walking toward Courtney as she stood outside. You could hear her voice before the shooting started. She was pleading. Witnesses described her running to a neighbor's porch, screaming for help. The man in white raised his weapon and fired at least 10 shots and kept firing even after she had already fallen. Then he turned and walked down the driveway and was gone. The video spread across social media within hours, and Courtney's family begged people to stop sharing it. Her sister Lena was not just dealing with the loss of her, she was also watching strangers on the internet circulate the last moments of her sister's life like entertainment. Those children did not need to grow up seeing their mother's final seconds replayed on a phone screen. Atlanta Police Chief Darren Scheinbaum classified the killing as a domestic violence-motivated homicide stemming from an argument. Murder warrants were issued the following day for a 33-year-old man named Derek Rankins, whom Courtney's family identified as someone she had previously been involved with romantically. The exact nature and timeline of their relationship was not made fully public, but the family was clear that they believed he was behind it. There was no history of prior reported incidents between them in public records, no restraining orders, nothing that had been documented before that night. But Rankins fled immediately after the shooting, and he was nowhere to be found. Now, there were rumors that started circulating online pretty quickly. Claims that the motive involved money, specifically allegations that Courtney had been entrusted with $50,000 from an imprisoned man and had spent it, and that Rankins had been sent to collect. There were also social media posts suggesting other personal motives involving Rankins' private life. None of these rumors were corroborated by police or any credible source. Authorities consistently pointed to a domestic dispute as the cause, and nothing in the official records supported the online speculation. The truth, as far as law enforcement described it, was that an argument escalated and a man made a decision that cost a mother of 4 her life. The neighborhood where Courtney was killed was already familiar with loss. Community members, including violence interrupters like Dr. Travis Barber, spoke openly about how much gun violence had affected that stretch of southeast Atlanta. A community member named Paulette Smith, who had lost her own son to gun violence, showed up to support the family. While the community gathered, law enforcement was focused on one thing: finding Derek Rankins. He had a week's head start, and he was considered dangerous. The search pulled in multiple agencies, as this was not going to be a routine pickup.
So much for joining us. I'm Faith Jesse.
And I'm Jennifer Bellamy. Tonight, Atlanta police are investigating after a mother was this week near Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta. Now, this is the victim. She's Courtney Reese. Tonight, her family is devastated, and as her family is already dealing with another loss. Her sister, also a victim of violence just months ago. 11 Alive's Erica Murphy live from the neighborhood on the city's southeast side where this happened.
And Erica, we're hearing this story. It is absolutely devastating. What are you learning about it?
It is very devastating for everyone who lives over here. You can't see it, but we are standing in front of a barbershop, the Cleveland Avenue barbershop, and the barbers there tell me that this young mom used to bring at least one of her children here to get his hair cut. Now, on Tuesday night, the family of this 32-year-old mother of 4 was forever changed. On Springside Drive, a hooded man downed this woman just a quarter of a mile from here.
Recently, it's been so much violence against women. It's like they're just being unprotected.
Atlanta police responded to Springside Drive on Tuesday night just before 9 to find Reese suffering from gunshot wounds. A ring cam video is now making its way through social media, appearing to show the moment her life was taken. Violence interrupter Dr. Travis Barber says the area where she was is no stranger to him.
I know everything about Cleveland Avenue. I lost a cousin over there as well as some friends.
Hearing about Reese's slaying is concerning to Barber.
It's no control over the laws. There's no control over the mental health patients. It's everybody's just going around like we're in the Wild Wild West.
Fellow community member Paulette Smith lost her son to violence and knows firsthand what this family must be going through.
There's a family that's here that's ripped apart. Kids don't have a mom. So we, as the community, Mothers Against Gang Violence, we are here to wrap around their family.
Now, we did reach out to APD to find out if there are any updates on this case. We have not heard anything from them yet. But what we do know is that the family of this young mother has set up a GoFundMe to raise money for her burial costs. We do have a link to that fundraiser on our website. That's 11alive.com. Reporting from Atlanta, Erica Murphy, 11 Alive News.
All right, Erica, thank you.
The family, meanwhile, held a vigil for Courtney. Purple balloons and candles, music, the kind of send-off she would have loved. And her sister Tiniquewa set up a GoFundMe to help cover funeral costs and support the 4 children Courtney left behind. The campaign description said what the family was feeling better than any news report could. My sister was taken away. Never in a million years did we think we would have to be going through the most tragic thing ever. Within days, 179 donors had contributed over $6,000 toward a $50,000 goal.
Developing tonight, trying to hold on to the happy moments while working through their grief after a mother of 4 was shot and killed on Tuesday night.
Now the community is rallying around the family of 32-year-old Courtney Reese. 11 Alive's Angelina Salcido joining us live tonight from Atlanta Police Headquarters. And Angelina, you spoke with many of those who knew and loved Courtney.
And this is the very first time that we are hearing from them. Her younger sister tells me that she was vibrant and she always kept a smile on her face. Courtney in Atlanta just months after one of her sisters was killed in DeKalb tonight. This family tells me neither one of them deserved to die this way.
She was a vibe, the life of the party.
Her infectious smile is keeping her grieving family's spirit high.
She was everybody's hype man. She was everybody's
cook.
Courtney Reese remembered tonight with purple balloons, music, and love.
It's a party. It's a celebration like she would have had any other day.
Lena is Courtney's older sister.
She didn't deserve this. Her kids will miss her sisters, her brother, her dad, her mom.
The 32-year-old 10 times at this home along Springside Drive, south of Cleveland Avenue, Tuesday night. Flowers are now in the place she took her last breath. In a video too graphic to play, Courtney pleads with someone before shots are fired. That person ran away. No arrests have been made.
Her life was cut short, but the children still are here. They still got to be provided for.
Courtney leaves behind 3 girls, just 13, 9, and 6 years old, and an 11-year-old son.
She was a great mother, and we want them to have everything that we knew that she was going to do for them.
Their life is her legacy.
Courtney was joy. She was love. She was a protector. She was, a provider.
Now, Atlanta police still investigating this case. They really want anybody from the community that has valuable information, saw or heard anything, to submit tips to them. Meanwhile, this family is working to provide for Courtney's kids. They're also trying to plan her funeral. We have a link to how you can help them in this story on our website. We're live tonight in Atlanta. Angelina Salcido, 11 Alive News.
Go ahead, Ray. I don't want nobody saying, so y'all better put that shit. Come on, Ray. Go ahead. Also, Ray.
Yes, girl.
I thank everybody for coming out for my mama. Y'all know she was a soldier. Y'all know she was humble. Y'all know she got her money. Y'all know she took care of her kids. She was a sick person, but she wasn't. We finna come out and have a good time. We thank for all the kids, me and my little sisters, my little brothers, all y'all. Journey, you'll be all right. We got you for life.
1 week after Courtney's murder, on August 27, 2024, a joint fugitive task force had a location on Derek Rankins. The Southeastern Fugitive Task Force, which included United States Marshals, Atlanta Police Department officers, Henry County Police, and Georgia State Patrol, converged on a home at 404 Linden Lane in Stockbridge, Henry County, about 30 miles south of Atlanta. They arrived around 11:50 in the morning to serve the murder warrant. Rankins was inside, well aware that they were coming. Instead of surrendering, he opened fire on the officers from inside the home. An 18-year veteran of the Atlanta Police Department's fugitive unit was hit in the arm. The wound was not life-threatening, but it was serious enough that he was airlifted to Grady Memorial Hospital, the same hospital where Courtney's sister Symetria had died just 3 months before, and where Symetria had worked for only a matter of days before her own death. The irony of that was not lost on anyone following the story. Georgia State Patrol SWAT responded to the scene. They deployed tear gas into the house, and when they made entry, they found Rankins in the attic. He had a rifle nearby and was dead from at least 1 gunshot wound. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation took over the probe to determine whether he had been killed by officer fire or had taken his own life. As of early 2026, no public finding has been released, which is consistent with how the GBI typically handles these cases when there is no allegation of misconduct.
Happening today, a family is holding a viewing for a mother of 4 who was shot and killed last week. 32-year-old Courtney Reese last Tuesday near Cleveland Avenue. Her viewing is set for this afternoon in Forest Park. Courtney just months after her sister was killed in DeKalb County. Police identified a suspect in Courtney's death while serving warrants just yesterday in Henry County. That man was killed and Atlanta police officer was injured there. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates joining us outside Grady Hospital this morning. Bobeth, we know this is all connected here. They were looking for the guy who was accused of her, and now an officer is there injured this morning.
That's exactly right, Aisha. And at last check, that officer was here at Grady recovering from his injuries. He is expected to survive. Now, this all began as officers were trying to arrest the man they believe Courtney Reese. Now, according to APD, a joint fugitive task force was attempting to serve warrants for Derek Rankins, the person they believe is responsible for Courtney's. The mom of four was shot and killed last Tuesday near Cleveland Avenue. Officials say when they arrived at the Stockbridge home, Rankins opened fire during a shootout. An APD officer was hit in the arm and Rankins was. In a statement, Courtney's dad responded to the news of the suspect's death, saying, honestly, this is the best outcome because this guy was a danger to others. Well, while he was on the run, I wish death upon no one, but he deserves exactly what he got. Now, we also heard from Atlanta Police Chief and neighbors who reacted to the scary moments. Take a listen.
Well, we were sitting there at the house, and next thing you know, you see cars flying by and cop after cop after cop after cop. It's kind of crazy.
This is what we train for. We recruit men and women who have a quality to stand in the gap for their communities. We train weekly and regularly to make sure when an individual who poses harm to community doesn't want to go back to jail, that we can do so with the least risk to the citizens in the area.
Again, police have not said if Rankins himself or if he was shot. And that officer injured is here at Grady recovering. Also, as mentioned earlier, the family of Reese will hold a viewing for her in Forest Park later today. Her funeral is tomorrow. Live in downtown, Bobeth Yates, 11 Alive News.
Courtney's father, James Dupree, put it plainly. He told reporters, honestly, this was the best outcome because this guy was a danger to others while on the run. I wish death upon no one, but he deserves exactly what he got. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens released a statement praising the injured officer and calling domestic violence a national crisis. He noted that Rankins, in his words, had no business having a gun. Police Chief Darren Sheararm echoed that sentiment, commending the task force for their work under dangerous conditions. The injured officer, who had served the Atlanta Police Department for 18 years, made a full recovery. And the 4 children Courtney left behind, they remained with family. Her sister, Tinakiwa, who had set up the fundraiser, publicly committed to making sure they were provided for. The family's message was consistent throughout. Courtney's legacy lived in those kids, and protecting them was the priority. What happened to the Dupree and Reese family between May and August of 2024 is almost impossible to fully wrap your head around. In the span of about 3 months, they buried 2 daughters. And here's the part that makes this story even harder to sit with. Courtney's case is not a one-off. This exact kind of tragedy keeps happening. On February 11, 2026, just over a year after Courtney's murder, a 35-year-old man named Stefan Jeter shot and killed his partner, a mother of 3, during a domestic dispute at their apartment in Northwest Washington, D.C. He also shot their young daughter in the arm before running. Their young son was in the home and watched it happen. Jeter fled in a white pickup truck with the police chasing after him. He crashed in Southeast D.C. and then shot himself. The entire thing was over within hours of it starting. Their 3-year-old son went missing long enough that police issued an Amber Alert before he was found safe with relatives in Prince George's County. The similarities to Courtney's case are hard to ignore. A mother killed by a man she had a relationship with. Children in the home left to carry the weight of what they saw and heard. A suspect who ran and then died before he could face any kind of trial or accountability. A family ripped apart in a matter of minutes. Jeter's end was self-inflicted. Rankins died in a shootout, but the result for the families was grief, chaos, and children with no parents to come home to. Community groups like Mothers Against Gang Violence responded by wrapping around the Reese family, and local advocates used both cases to push for stronger protections for women and greater accountability around gun access in Atlanta. That conversation has not stopped. Cases like the one in the D.C. keep proving why. The GoFundMe Tinakiwa set up is still online. The vigil footage is still out there. So is the Ring camera video, despite the family's repeated requests for people to stop sharing it. And somewhere in Southeast Atlanta, 4 kids are growing up without the woman their family called a vibe. Everybody's hype man, everybody's cook, the life of every party she ever walked into. What do you think about this case? Let me know in the comments section. Also, click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.